So yes, the title and the thumbnail are 100% correct. I kind of got a bit of pink eye and a few other problems, all because of this guy, the new LP. I treated him so well. I gave him a nice new home. I spent an absolute fortune. I really spent loads of time and effort building this absolutely amazing enclosure, and he goes and gives me pink eye, blisters. Oh. But a little bit of cool information I have just figured out for myself. I've actually found a couple of creative ways how you can buy big, expensive animals affordably. I'm not rich, I'm not made of money, but yeah, I've just been able to manage to purchase my dream animal, kind of, sort of, yeah. Yes, guys, I have just made the move and I have jumped on one of my dream animals. If you're new around here, I've actually been searching. I've got a list of dream animals, just like everybody has got a list of dream animals. What's your dream animal? Let me know in the comments down below. Well, I've been on the search for a good 6 months now, trying to figure out which one is going to be best for me at the time that I'm at right now. And I have jumped on one, I have made the move, and I have sorted it. So we'll get into that one in a little bit too. But first, I wanted to show you this progress on this big chameleon setup that we are building. What do you think of that so far? Now, obviously, it's nowhere near finished, nowhere near at all. We've still got all the carving to do, we've got the background to do, we've got all the silicone to do, we've got to carve everything, make it all nice and chic. But let me quickly talk you through it right now. So we've got a couple of horizontal perches. There's one there, there's another one down there. So if the animal wants to get out of all the UV lights, because if you want to know, this is just a Reptibreeze that we're building up. That's it. I mean, it looks ugly on the outside, but it's going to look absolutely amazing on the inside. We've got branches going from bottom all the way up to the top, from, again, front to back. We've got some there as well going all the way up, some on the back. It's just got every opportunity that this animal could possibly need a perch for. It's in there perfectly, but we've still not even added the vines or anything in there. It's coming together really nice. We've got a couple of little planters up there. We've got a planter just down there. We've got a double planter there. Now we're planning on actually cutting the middle out of there and putting a bigger plant in there. Got a little planter on the back there. We did have a planter. See that one right at the back corner? We've sort of disabled that one and using that for something else now, but we've added this big one instead now. This is for that big weeping dew that we've got in the bedroom. You know this big plant just here? Yeah, that's going to be going into that big pot just there. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But I do have a question for Americans. I'm seeing a lot of big bioactive builds just like this, and all the creators are using something called dry lock all the way around the outside. It basically like seals all the enclosure and stuff. What is dry lock? We can't get it in the UK. I've looked everywhere for it. I don't know what it is, so I can't get an alternative to it. But I'd love to be able to try it. So in the comments, if you're American, what is dry lock? I do realise I could actually just Google it, but I'm lazy and it's all good. That's going to be absolutely amazing when it's done. But there's a big twist coming at the end of that video. So when that video drops, it's not ready anytime soon. I've got loads more work to do to it. But when it does drop, just keep an eye on the very last few seconds, because there's going to be a twist. Oof, sun beetle update. We have got absolutely tons and tons of sun beetles. Oh look, there's one just there on the lid just now. There's absolutely loads of sun beetles. Look at that one just hanging on, just chilling out. They've destroyed the pothos plant, I'll give them that. I mean, there's one there just there sticking his bum out. There's loads and loads and loads. There's one upside down just there. Yeah, anyway, there's loads of sun beetles. So that little sun beetle colony is really coming together quite nicely now. I wonder if they're going to start laying eggs. I suppose I really should start getting in touch with that invertebrate communal enclosure that I want to do, because that's where these are going to end up eventually. I've just not even started that enclosure just yet. I've got this one I'm building, I've got another one up there I'm building, but that does need to take a bit more priority. So maybe kind of sort of I need to get sort of prioritised on that one a little bit more. What do you guys think I should actually put in there? At the moment, I've got a couple of millipedes. I've got all these sun beetles about to go in there. There's a few darkling beetles, superworm darkling beetles. They've gone in there. I'm wondering, tail whip scorpion? Will that go in there? I haven't researched it. That was just a quick spur of the moment thought just then. So I don't even know if that's actually possible. Let me know in the comments down below. But let me know if you'd like to see any sort of cool invertebrate actually in there with a communal setup. So it's got to be an animal that can live with other different species of animal. Now people say I shouldn't cross-generate species, I couldn't cohabitate different species altogether. However, people have been doing it in the fish hobby for years, and it can actually be done in the reptile hobby. But this is invertebrates, so I don't know, it's worth a try. We'll see what happens. I'm definitely thinking a sort of African savanna sort of enclosure. So I might do it like a full thing African enclosure. So I have got the millipede in there perfectly fine. We can add the African sun beetles in there. They'll be perfectly fine. Let me know what you think. I kind of want to sort of get it the idea down and know what species are going in there before I actually start working on it. So that way I can build the enclosure specific to the species that are actually going in there. But has the LP settled into its enclosure yet? Well, kind of, sort of, maybe. You can see him just there on the back corner. He's not happy, or she's not happy. I moved the light a little bit, just so you can see it, but there you go. That's our salmon pink bird eater, our LP. Laceridorus paravalis, I think that's how you pronounce it. Either way, he's there. The hide's just there. She's been in the hide once. She's been in this enclosure now for about 8 days. And yeah, once she's been in that hide there. She's had a good walk around at night time, but she just not seems to settle in that well. Personally, I think it's to do with the light, because the light basically shines into her burrow. So that's the next. I'm going to give her a few more days to settle and just see if she's settled or not. If she doesn't, then that's the next step, I think. But how can you get these sort of really expensive animals quite affordable to the people that can't really afford the upfront cost of these animals? Now for me, my dream species, it will eventually be going in there. I'm not going to divulge too much information on that because that's a separate video all on its own. I'm so privileged to be able to get this dream species eventually. It's took me 4 years on YouTube to build up to this stage, and I've got him. And if you follow my Instagram, you've probably seen pictures of him already because he's just absolutely amazing. And I just can't keep quiet about him. But this animal cost me £550. I can keep up with the regular upkeep of the animal. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. It's just that upfront cost I couldn't afford in one lump. So what I've done, it's quite ingenious really. The shop turned around and said, well, you can just pay it off weekly. And then when it's all paid off, you can take him. But how did this guy give me pink eye? I mean, well, kind of them and them as well. Because it all just happened to me in 1 week. I did a video clearing out the mealworms, talking about the mealworms, how I've not maintained it for a year. That got up my nose. All the dust got up my nose. I hardly moved anything, but it got up my nose. And it made me a bit like this. And it was just horrible. Loads of Benadryl, loads of stuff just to cure it down. But then, if you were actually watching a live stream on Scott's Inverts YouTube channel, I actually rehoused this guy into here on that live stream. He flicked hairs at me. It's nothing special. He flicked hairs at me. So you can see just there, kind of. I've sort of got big lumps there. I've got it all over my hands, all up there. Even my other hand, I've got loads of marks and loads of... Oh, this is still irritating. I did the stupid thing of getting flicked on the hands and thinking, oh, it's nothing possible. Yeah, can you see what happens now? I've ended up with fat eyes, runny nose because of the mealworms. Then I've got irritating eyes because I've got the irritating hairs from his ass all over my hand. And then I go and wipe my eyes. Can you get a stupider move than that? So I'm thinking that's her forever home now because I ain't going back in there unless it's feeding. And they're all going to get never touched again. We're a bit all over the place on this little vlog, aren't we? I mean, I've not even shown any animals. Which one should we see? Should we go and have a look? Well, I can't look at the morning geckos. They're getting fogged up at the moment. We've had a look at the LP. The Asamani, she's fast asleep. The frogs, they're hiding. Ooh, Hugo! How you doing, buddy? Popcorn, still digesting his meal inside the actual hide himself. We did say he'd do that. He'll be there for about a week now. He's just had a big guinea pig. But Hugo's always happy. Happy Hugo. That grass plant in the leopard gecko's bioactive enclosure is doing quite well, but again, we hardly ever see her either. I can't wait to get this enclosure sorted. Plant-wise, we're thinking something like that big cheese plant just there, straight in the bottom, in the substrate, coming right the way up to about maybe here. In this one, we've got that big weeping dew that I've already shown you. We've got this big spider, which I'm tempted to go into that front hide, that one just there, basically. And then all the others are just going to be like pothos plants, maybe some bromeliads. I've got a lovely fern plant just there, which could go perfectly in there. So note to self, and to learn from all of my mistakes. Don't mess with tarantulas that are potential to get bigger than your face. They can cause damage without even trying to cause damage. It's just a little defense mechanism that really did defend against me. And when you are sorting out mealworms, wear yourself a face mask or some eye protection or something. Or just have, like me, a lifetime supply of Benadryl in the cupboard.